I kind of want to see what Eleanor has to say. So maybe, well, Claudia Vibe says, Lemeo, yeah, I thought the same thing. Someone getting paid to pick these coins. Well, it just doesn't make sense if those are your criteria, and you should have stringent criteria. That makes a lot of sense, but I don't see how you can have that stringent criteria and then come to Ethereum that specifically, like, Ethereum's the worst for fee predictability. Are you kidding me? And then Solana with all its outages and its failed transactions, I don't see how that works, but okay. Yeah, let's see what Eleanor has to say. We'll watch this a little bit, and then I think we'll call it a day.
To talk. We're definitely going to talk to him about all the work they've been doing. So really appreciate you coming on the show.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Mike. Yes, well, as Gerald mentioned, another big story we've been tracking is Galaxy Digital becoming the first company to tokenize its shares using the Solana blockchain. It fits into the increasingly popular trend of tokenization, which is obviously we just discussed with Mike, but it's an accelerating trend on Wall Street as well. So to talk more on this, let's bring in Alex Zozos, the general counsel at fintech company Superstate, to discuss its partnership with Galaxy Digital offering GLXY on the Solana blockchain. Alex, welcome to the show.
So happy to be here, and yeah, that was like a pep talk from Mike there, and happy to dive in and chat further. Just want to preface this as also say, go Birds for all those celebrating now that football season is upon.
All right, so they're saying that Solana first is, they were saying the Solana is the first tokenization of Galaxy. I want to see if that's what he says. Oops.
A midday show for
we don't like
our Friday friends. Yeah. Alex, we would love to kind of get a rundown from you. Obviously, starting on Wednesday, Galaxy stockholders can tokenize their shares using Superstate's Opening Bell platform. Yes, this sounds very cool in theory, and there's a lot of talk out there about tokenization, but why does it actually matter to tokenize these stocks? And how do you how do you see this changing the way adoption transpires in the industry?
Yeah, I mean, again, so happy to be here. And I would say it is such an exciting time in the space. And what we did on Wednesday is a significant milestone in bringing to fruition, what Chairman Atkins announced in Project Crypto, which is bringing the analog markets on chain. And so what we did at Superstate with our Opening Bell platform in partnering with Galaxy is actually brought real shares. Like, instead of opening up your Robinhood account, you're opening up your self-custodial wallet, and the exact same shares are now available in your self-custodial wallet.
This drives me nuts because they did it. This happened first on Algorand with Galaxy, and they were going around saying, "Oh, we're the first one to do that." No, you're not. It happened on Algorand first in 2024, by the way.
Is really evolving the ownership format and bringing the actual shares on chain, and we're doing this through Opening Bell as the transfer agent. And so what that means is,
by the way, he didn't say that, but they said that on some of the Solana people were saying that. Some pretty big names were saying that.
The new one that we're enabling is this tokenized version, which enables you to move them around and then leverage the DeFi primitives that exist that have been built up over the next 10 years, over the last 10 years. So there's a lot that can come from this, but from a starting point, we've tokenized the shares of Galaxy, and would love to get into where that can lead and what we're thinking.
Yeah, so Alex, I want to take a step back. We've had this conversation before about, even towards the beginning of the year, there was this debate about what's going to happen first, right? Are we going to get a lot more crypto products into TradFi wrappers, or are we going to get tokenization of traditional financial products like securities? And you guys at Superstate have always believed in this mission of, the ability to tokenize. We saw a lot of momentum with the ETFs, trading, underlying crypto assets. We've seen this kind of DApp mania. We then saw, as Mike mentioned, kind of Robinhood and Republic put these private secondary tokens out there. I think they call them mirror tokens, but not necessarily truly tokenized public equities. What was it like working with Galaxy, and what makes Superstate unique in the ability to actually bring a publicly traded equity on chain? Like, and just what's different about that process for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I welcome all forms of innovation. Obviously, Commissioner Peirce has come out with some statements that's, talking about how a security is a security, and just because you you say you put it on a blockchain doesn't change, its obligations in nature. But the way others are kind of approaching the way that some others are approaching tokenization is kind of having a separate or derivative token that provides more or less economic exposure, rather than as if you actually own the underlying shares. And this is where I think some people have called them like so-called securities, or call them wrappers or things like that. We think that carries forward a lot of the risks from TradFi with regard to settlement risks and counterparty risk, and does introduce, fragmentation. Um, Whereas what we're doing is actually uh, creating a direct registration, essentially, of the shares in your name on the books and records of the issuer. And so,
By the way, this is already happening. Also, besides Exodus, we had Ondo this week just announced their global markets. Well, they'll have 1-to-1 shares for all these on-chain, on-tokenized, all these shares of different companies on-chain. So they did that too. So Solana's like not, and it's fine. More chains can all do this. That's great. I just got really annoyed at the idea that this is unique to them compared to other people. It's ridiculous. And he's not necessarily, he is kind of suggesting that. He doesn't outright say it. He's kind of suggesting, and they're all kind of talking about it as if this is brand new. It's not. But, well, you can see, look at their sponsors. Avalanche, Say, and Solana. I don't see Algorand on there, or Hedera, or Ondo.
roll this out further at Superstate. But to the extent you tokenize your shares, you can de-tokenize your shares and change those back and take them back into TradFi. And so, like, that is how we view this evolution to evolve, really, is to not fully displace, but create additional alternatives. And so we think, we're in alignment with the commission, let the market decide. And that's really going to be, is TradFi and the intermediated infrastructure, is that where we think things should go and stay? Or is this new, innovative, blockchain-led technology, is there additional utility there? Is there more direct ownership? Is that where we think people will want to go? Obviously, like, for right now, it's limited in what you can do. With Galaxy, we've only unlocked, peer-to-peer transactions, but even that is such a crazy unlock, right? Like, imagine like going in and trying to send a share of anything to anyone else, right? Like, you can't do that because you have to go through like 6 different layers of intermediaries. And so, like, even now, just having the shares on your self-custodial wallet and enabling the ability to transfer on a peer-to-peer basis is fantastic. But we're definitely viewing this as a starting point, because we're working directly with the crypto task force. We're part of this initiative coalition called Project Open, where we're working with a number of industry players in the Solana ecosystem to bring to bear, in a fully regulated way, the financial primitives that exist on chain, like automated market makers. And that's like fully different and unique, that doesn't exist in TradFi. And so we're providing the bridge as this transfer agent to allow you both as an issuer and as an investor to say, hey, I want to tokenize my shares. And these aren't digital twins. These aren't anything. These are like the exact same share that you would have. And then once we, get regulatory comfort, really allow for the tools and the use cases that have been evolving over time to use those with more, intrinsic value securities and assets. And so, like, right now, the crypto market is 3 trillion, and like the traditional market is 60 trillion.
4 trillion.
We think there's really, at the end of the day, it's going to be like the entire market has the additional choice, and all of that is going to be combined into one pie.
All right. Yeah, I'm kind of bored of that. I think he's right. I think his last point is actually totally correct, that this is going to be huge. Green Blue says XRP, you just need rabid token holders to outpace the sales by the team, I guess. Well, yep. Interesting point Green Blue made about Algorand nodes. I kind of feel like that too, but like for ready pools, it's sure it's sure easy just to like throw it on there and kind of forget about it. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of a big fan of that. So I've been using that. I was using Tinyman DeFi, and it really kind of screwed me actually. Green Blue says I want to buy Starbucks with my Starbucks shares. That'd be interesting.